Here we come, guys. This is a very important issue about Pi GCV. You see, there is something we need to clarify, and it's all about those who believe that whatever they don't know, nobody knows it. In other words, they see themselves that they know everything. So if they don't know this thing, you can't know it. Now, let's go. It says, let's clarify this up technically, not emotionally. There is a message circulating from at Dorisin Pa that says, the code COSASI 314159, that is $314,159, has no link to the Pi Core team, that it has no value and the people should stop waiting for it. He says this kind of statement sounds authoritative, but when you analyze it technically, it collapses. Let's break this down properly. Number one, first mistake, confusing official communication with technical reality. The argument says the core team never officially mentioned it, therefore it doesn't exist. There is a fundamental misunderstanding of how technical systems work. In real infrastructure, core logic is rarely announced publicly. Critical mechanisms are implemented before they are explained. Just the listening, SDKs, APIs, and back-end rules come long before marketing. If everything had to be publicly announced to exist, then no banking system would work, no blockchain would be secure, no back-end would ever be trusted. Technology doesn't move by tweets, it moves by implementation. Number two, second mistake, misunderstanding what a code really is. The post claims it is just a code made by a normal user. This shows a deep confusion. In other words, a code in a blockchain context is not a password, is not a promo key, a magic switch. It can be a constant, a reference value, a symbolic anchor, a validation marker, a parameter used across layers. The fact that something is visible or discussed does not mean it is meaningless. I hope you are following me. Many critical constants in cryptography are public, well-known, mathematically symbolic, structurally important visibility, which is irrelevant. Number three, third mistake, the activation might. The message says, don't wait for this code to be activated. In other words, this sentence alone proves a misunderstanding. Real systems do not work like this. Nothing like press a button, activate a code, or magic happens. They work like this way. Architecture is deployed. SDK enforces behavior. Apps are constrained. Logic becomes implicit. And guess what? We just saw mandatory Pi SDK integration. Automatic modification of apps. Back-end normalization. That is activation without announcement. Number four, The biggest red flag in that message goes this way. The tone, it doesn't explain. It discourages thinking. It tells people to stop asking questions. That is not education. That is control. When someone says, don't think about this, it is useless. Can't you understand? It usually means, I don't understand it and I don't want others to look deeper. Can you imagine? So, number 5, what the SDK update actually proves. Let's be very clear. Pi is enforcing technical standards. Apps are being aligned automatically. The ecosystem is being locked structurally. Economic logic is being prepared. The network is moving from theory to execution. You do not do this if nothing is planned, nothing is calculated, nothing is coming. You do this when infrastructure becomes critical. In other words, number 6, the real divide. This is not about belief, hype, personalities. It is about those who understand systems and those who only repeat statements. One group reads interfaces, SDKs, and the architecture. The other reads posts. Only one of them understands what's coming. Now, final word. You don't need to believe in anything. Just observe the code, the constraint, the integration, the architecture. That is where truth lives. Everything else is noise. So you can just analyze critically in order to understand everything I read here. Because some people believe that when they don't know it, you don't know it, which is improper. So this message is from Pi Man, guardian of core team and pioneers. Here we come.